Cricket Project Roly Polies by Winter, Armando, Christian, and Shakri.
Are Roly Polies ectotherm or endotherm? No, Roly Polies are ectotherm.
How does our organism's metabolism change in response to different environment temperatures? The organism's metabolism changes in the response of temperature-changed environments because when it's warm, their metabolism rises, and when it's cold, their metabolism lowers.
Experiment purpose statement. The purpose of this experiment is to see how much CO2 the organism produces in different temperature environments. We also look to see how much the organism's metabolism changed in different temperatures.
Hypothesis. If the roly-polies are put in room temperature and warm temperatures environments, then we think the roly-polies will produce less CO2 in cold water compared to the room temperature water and produce more CO2 in warm water compared to the room temperature water.
Experiment design. The independent variable, the habitat temperatures, the dependent variable, CO2 production level, the constants, the time, and the amount of roly-polies. The control group, one of the controlled temperature habitats.
Graph.
Comparison. The rate of carbon dioxide changes in the different temperatures because when the gas is heated up, the respiration moves faster, and when the atoms are cold, they slow down. So when it's cold, it doesn't produce as much CO2, and when it's warm, it produces more CO2. When the cold temperature, photosynthesis is slowed down because it's cold, and when the molecules don't move as much, so the respiration rate is slowed down and not as much CO2 is being produced. The respiration rate of our organism raises when the warm temperatures because the body needs to breathe more and keep up its heart rate and send blood through the body. That way it keeps circulation so you don't heat your blood too much.
K strategist or R strategist. The roly-poly is R strategist. The female organism produces a lot of offspring, but only a few survive birth. When the female roly-poly has her offspring, they widespread to different areas far away. The roly-polies have small bodies.
Life cycle. Stages: egg, manka, juvenile, and adult. Lifespan up to 2 years.
Food chain. Sun, dead plants, pill bug, beetle, and on.
Tropic levels. Roly-polies can be placed in second tropic levels.
Food web.
This is our trophic level pyramid.
Conclusion. We stand by our hypothesis. We conclude that the organisms would produce more CO2 in the warm water instead of the room temperature water. When submerged in the warm water, the organisms produce 1,500 ppm, and the room temperature produced 1,435 ppm.
Conclusion number 2. We concluded that the pill bug produces less CO2 in cold water compared to room temperature water. When put in cold water, the organism produces 1,275 ppm and 1,435 ppm in room temperature water.
Extra information. Mixed up time lapse during experiment test recording.
Resources: insected.arizona.ed, Google Images, Google Instruction Sheet, past worksheets, experiment, information from class.